for a discussion about automation inside the warehouse. I'm joined today by Brian Kirst. He is Chief Commercial Officer of SnapFulfill. Hi, Brian.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being with me today. Let's kind of get our arms around this big topic of just what is going on inside a warehouse today in terms of automation. What are the big moves? What's popular, and what are people actually doing in order to improve operations?
What we're seeing a lot more of is the hardware is becoming more attainable. So warehouses are if they've had automation on their roadmap, they're able to accelerate that adoption of automation.
Yeah.
So folks are looking to bring in more automation, different types of automation to augment that workforce, to not only replace labor, which is always on top of mind, but augment that labor or supplement it in a way that makes the tasks a little less repetitive. It takes some of the strain off of the warehouse worker, who really is the core of the supply chain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what automation means today versus what it used to mean. I mean, we could have had a conversation 20 years ago, we would have been talking about conveyors.
That's right.
Or something.
Yeah.
Certainly we're way past that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are the actual applications going on? I mean, robotics is a big deal, I think.
Sure.
Robots in the warehouse, what's popular?
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when this show was a lot of racking and conveyor, and
yeah.
now it's much more exciting with robotics. So we're seeing a lot of AMR and picking assist, good stuff,
automated
solutions, ASRS, those types of applications. But what we're seeing more of also is deploying multiple types of automation to create a fully automated solution within the warehouse. So as software was important at one time to get the most efficiency, now we're seeing that dive deeper down into the automation space.
The software providing more of a competitive advantage, a more operational advantage than the hardware now? Are you saying that?
I think we're getting to the point where the value is in how that automation is integrated and orchestrated, rather than the hardware itself.
Well, without software, a robot just stands there, right?
That's right.
So it has to be something to support it. I like what you're saying to me about multiple solutions. That raises the question of how you juggle everything, how you integrate everything in the warehouse, make everything play nice together.
That's right.
How do you do that?
Yeah, and so integration was always the way, and now orchestration is becoming
my buddy's favorite word now, right?
And I think it's important because you have these multiple, ultimately, resources within the operation. Not only should you be able to integrate and send work to them, but to know what their capacity is. When you've reached capacity on a specific type of automation, do we divert to a human resource? Do we divert to a separate automation to complete those tasks? If an automation goes down or is being serviced, what happens there?
Yeah.
So having that orchestration, so all of the technology is, as you say, playing nice and operating most efficiently and not taking any one area down. That's becoming the key. So orchestration is going to be more and more common, and the technology agnostic orchestration and the multi-agent orchestration is really where I see things moving forward.
I think from 35,000 feet, it just seems like a lot of nice, shiny things.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with automation and you're in a warehouse, I don't even know where you would begin in a world today. There's so much to look at, so much to purchase, so many decisions to make.
Yep.
How do you get started?
Yeah, I think really taking a consultative approach, working with partners and integrators who are familiar with various technologies and how they work together, especially if there's unique challenges. If you're a specific commodity, you can have one solution that works well and you can get a long-term solution in place. If you're a 3PL, you need something more flexible, you need something more configurable, and something that's going to adapt to your changing environment.
Right.
So having those partners and those in that space that understand how to modularize that warehouse, how to bring in the multiple technologies, and then of course the software layer on top is going to be key.
Yeah, flexibility is a good thing, because if I've got a warehouse and I want to automate it, I would worry that the substantial investment involved would lock me in to a certain system that might not even be relevant a few years from now, or even next Christmas when the peak season goes up.
Right.
How do I avoid that?
Yeah, and I think that's the fear that has kept a lot of folks from taking that leap and automating parts or all of their warehouse. So avoiding that is really key, and identifying the right solution and the right partners that are going to be able to scale with you. So, and again, it's end to end, right? So you have to have the right software all the way down to the right automation processes.
So you're telling me to achieve integration, you have to get an integrator?
I think so.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
It's stating the obvious, right?
Sure, important to state the obvious sometime. Well, thank you so much, Brian. I really appreciate you kind of giving me painting a picture for me of just what's going on in those four walls today.
Sure, absolutely.
In terms of technology. Yeah. I do want to take a moment, though, to ask you specifically about Snap Fulfill. Where do you folks fit into this whole puzzle?
So thanks for that. So Snap Fulfill, we're a warehouse management system. We're a highly configurable. We deploy in 45 to 70 days, so our speed to value is there. And we do it all through a rules engine. So we're configuring through a set of rules, so we're low code, almost no code for the user. In addition to that, we do have a multi-agent orchestration layer. So we extend our warehouse expertise into the automation space. So we're going deeper into the warehouse, and we're now orchestrating that automation that we just talked about. So with the combination of Snap Fulfill and Snap Control, you can really deploy a fully automated warehouse in a fraction of the time and for a fraction of the cost that has been traditionally out there. So the 45 to 70 days applies also to Snap Control when bringing up automation and technology in the warehouse.
Brian, thanks again for talking to me about automation in the warehouse, as well as a little bit about Snap Fulfill itself. Yep. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I've been speaking with Brian Kirst of Snap Fulfill. Thank you very much for watching.